I had a good friend die when I was 10. We called him John. He died pretty tragically too. He was hit by a car, literally right in front of my house, when he was chasing down a ball that bounced into the road. Fast forward 7 years, I'm babysitting my little sister, and she's playing outside. I'm on the porch, swing rating, and she's shooting hoops on a little tight hoops. The ball bounces out into the road, and I look up to see her yell, "Don't go after the ball, John." Freaked the shit out of me. She never even knew about John. I asked her who John was, and she said that he would play with her sometimes outside. A few years ago, I was home alone at night time. I was watching TV in the living room when I heard the doorbell ring. Whenever I hear the doorbell ring, especially when I'm home alone, I'm cautious to answer it. I walk up to the peephole without turning on the porch light so they don't know if anyone is actually home or not, and look through. It's really dark, but I can see a small figure, more like black blob. I don't know its definite shape and had to be around 3 to 4 feet, doing like a dancing motion, dipping down, oscillating its arms outward. Think of a person moving their arms like wings gracefully. It was dark outside, but this figure was more opaque, so I could see this going on. After a few seconds, I stopped looking through the peephole because it was too freaky to look at. I regained some courage and looked back through, and whatever it was gone. To this day, I still don't know that. What was it? And I freaked out thinking about it. Me and my girlfriend at the time, we were at a friend's farm doing some stargazing. Anyone in rural Australia will know how amazing the stars can get. Suddenly we hear this scream, nothing like I've heard before, and some of the cows of the farm running scares the shit out of us, and we very quickly turn on the quad bike and ride away. Next day we go out onto the farm, and there were a few dead cows and calves torn up open to bits and very close to where we were. This story happens when he was about 8. He was playing hide and seek with his friend at his house. It was late, probably around 10. It's my friend's turn to find his friend. He's looking everywhere around the house, but he can't find him anywhere. He eventually decides he must be hiding outside, so he leaves the house to find him. He starts searching around some bushes when he hears his friend's voice coming from a dark corner, maybe 20 feet away. The voice calls for him to come over. He didn't because he was already spooked out enough being outside in the pitch black. He yells back, "No, you come over here." That's when he says it really started to get spooky. The voice that sounded just like his friend kept insisting that he come over to the dark corner. He keeps replying no over and over again. At this point, he said, the voice suddenly changed to a dark, horrible sounding voice demanding him to come over. At this point, he ran back inside only to see his friend in the living room. When questioned how he got inside so fast, the friend said he never went outside. While on a trail ride, you ride your horse through the woods. My friend and I came across a bunch of animal bones arranged in circle like some sort of weird ritual. It definitely wasn't anything that would happen naturally. It was far away from any houses and in middle of the woods. This is really creepy. Went for a midnight walk with my boyfriend and dog about 4 years ago after we moved to a new apartment. We went walking around a really popular lake, but this was like 12:30 or 1 a.m. Anyway, we get near the end of the walking path and we pass a senior couple slowly walking past. Okay, weird. They should be asleep. They're so old. Then we continue walking and my dog stops at a park bench to pee and there's an old man sitting there silently. Holy Christ, spooky. Come on, dog. We walk a little bit further and I swear my memory is not cloudy here, but there's got to be a dozen or more old people just standing and slowly walking around this part of the path. Some are sitting and some are in couples, but no one is making any sound. My boyfriend and I kind of drag each other and the dog through the mess of old people and briskly get out of there. I contacted the local folklore ghost guy, but he said he hasn't heard anything about that area. There is no old folks home in that part of the town. Certainly no seniors home is going to sponsor a seniors walk on the lake at 1 in the morning. Still freaks me out. This did not happen to me, but my friend. She was headed to a party with an acquaintance late one evening. They were driving down a secluded road when she felt the car coming to a very slow stop. She said that she felt almost paralyzed from their ride. Two unnaturally large black horses silently and without moving their legs kind of floated across the road. She said that she felt a power or force that was so great it was terrifying. After they passed, the car started forward again, and then that both her and the passenger were in a weird shock. The rest of the way, they both felt the same weird paralyzation and same kind of fear when the forces passed. This happened to my mother's uncle in the 70s in India. I couldn't believe this story when my mom first told it to me, but after meeting her uncle a year before he passed away, my view changed. My mother's uncle, who I'll just call Unc for short, lived in a rural Indian village. Electricity was present but unreliable, and the entire village basically became pitch black once the sun went down. Unc was a sharp, well-respected accountant. He'd ride his bike long distances to meet with clients. This one evening, he was riding back home from a neighboring village, and the path was particularly dark and desolated. As he was riding the bike, he heard a voice calling out to him from behind. He knew there was no one else around, but this voice sounded like his daughter's. He knew this wasn't possible because his daughter had died at age 5. Very scared, he pedaled faster and tried not to turn around. In Indian superstition, we shouldn't look back to hear voices of loved ones or friends calling you like this on dark, lonely roads, because it is said it is demonic entities trying to trick you to get your attention. For some reason, Unc looked back, and from that point he was never the same again. He made it back home, but was deeply disturbed and mentally unstable for the remainder of his life. A once intelligent accountant was reduced to a dejected, mumbling mental case. He refused to talk about what he saw to anyone, including me. when I met him. That look in his eyes when I met him freaks me out till this day. I rode out in front of a car on my bike when I was 11, and the car honked really loud at me. I stupidly flipped the car off. They came to a screeching halt. A huge guy stepped out and went to open his trunk. His girlfriend got out of the passenger side crying and screaming, begging him not to open the trunk. I was frozen in fear. He got back in the car and sped off. I have no idea what was in the trunk. Hopefully not a fully automatic machine gun or a turret. I know last one was not that scary, but it's okay. I don't know. Thanks for watching.